Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Rockwell Block Convention with weekly comic book roundup. And this will be our to cover. I would just say cosmic family titles and movie tie-ins. So we'll kick things off with Meet the Skrulls number 3. So, just to go by everything. The Meet the Skrulls follows the Warners, a family who are actually Skrulls. Right now, they're trying to gather information on Project Blossom, which will expose all Skrulls on the planet. So far, that involves 3 of them at the moment. Daughter Madison, who has been invited to the party at a popular schoolmate's house, only to discover the party's been canceled and the girl's parents are still there. So she improvised by poisoning the dinner and stealing the files while everyone was passed out. Then Gloria and Carl, mother and father, have worked to break into Stark Unlimited so that they can gather what intel they can on Project Blossom. Meanwhile, our other daughter, Alice, wants to be efficient to her family. After meeting with her classmate / target, was followed home by a mysterious man who annihilated another Skrull family. So, pick up with a flashback. The family airdropping in, and Ivy, their deceased daughter, gave the mother a flower for luck. Well, turns out the mother still carries that flower with her. So, Alice and Carl made their way to Stark Unlimited. This guy's is Pepper Potts and Tony Stark. So, meanwhile, Madison is now working on stealing the files. Has quickly disguised herself as her target's father, put her father to bed, but she accidentally calls her friend Ivy. We see another flashback of Ivy and Madison arguing. The 2 sisters working together to overcome the fear of covert work. Madison leaves. We cut back to Alice and Carl. In Stark Unlimited, and first, they try to get into a vault. So they can't get in though, and there's a budget for either of the 2. So basically, either Pepper Potts or Tony Stark. And so, what's my cheat sheet? Gloria, not Alice, Gloria, tries to find an alternate way in, and then but Carl remembers the last time he saw their daughter Ivy. However, they managed to open the vault, but that's someone's for security, who are armed with tech from Project Blossom, are able to pick them to see that they are Skrulls right off the bat. So, Carl and Gloria take down the two, get their weapons, security codes, and some prototypes. So, not a bad night. We see more of when their daughter Ivy was lost. But Carl, Gloria, and Madison all return home at the same time, only to discover the door to their house is ajar. They go in, and the place is ransacked. Signs of struggle everywhere. Gloria gets a weapon out quick from a hiding place. They immediately realize something's gone wrong with Alice. They get upstairs and find Alice standing on her bed, or I would presume the corpse of the man in the hat. She asks, "Am I a Skrull now?" Interesting. Alrighty. So, next up we've got Guardians of the Galaxy number 4. Where we left off, the Guardians were headed to a particular planet. The idea being to beat the Dark Guardians there. The Dark Guardians, meanwhile, had gotten hold of Nova. So, Groot lands on Half-World, the ancestral home of Rocket Raccoon, last on location of Gamora. And so, Beta Ray Bill, Moondragon, and Phyla-Vell go off in search of her. However, a bullet ricochets off of Bill's helmet. However, Bill makes a point of tossing his hammer at her. Though when it comes back to her, it's got a bunch of explosions on the back of it, which she sets off. And he pretty sure says, that was impressive. And then Groot comes out and stops the fight. Groot said, tell her, stop trying to kill the Guardians. She explains that she thought they were here for Rocket. As they hug, and maybe Bill and Moondragon aren't the happiest team members. Groot explains what's going on, that, Thanos' will was red. And Gamora claims that it's a feint. He wants to rip everyone apart. And Groot explains that, that's great. Too bad that Eros doesn't believe it because he sent a team to kill you. Apparently, Rocket is in his fortified little citadel on Half-World, and that's where he's at. And he tells Gamora that when all this is over, the two of them will come back and they'll take care of things here. Everyone, reunites. However, Star-Lord's got some handcuffs to put on Gamora first. Nova slams into the ship. But, they're coming. Well, they have to warn Gamora. But it's like, oh, she's here. And then he realizes that he led the Dark Guardians right to Gamora. During the fight, Star-Lord literally sends Gamora to her room. But she gets out of the cup. The fight breaks out between the Dark Guardians and the Guardians. Lots of, hell. It's a hell of a splash page, to be perfectly honest. Gamora gets out of her cuffs and ends up getting shot. Nebula tries to shoot at her, but Star-Lord takes the hit. And most of it, that might be it for Star-Lord, which actually manages to stop the fight. Oh. Oops. And looks like he might actually, for the moment, be dead. Keep in mind, the sword also does have concern the goddess of death. So, Next up, we've got Old Man Quill number 4. Yeah. They both are the same month. That's kind of neat. Or they're on the same issue at the moment. So, where we left off, the Guardians had been captured by Taskmaster and thrown into an arena with a bunch of other people who were dressed up as superheroes. Well, superheroes in days of yore. And that wasn't bad enough. It turns out they're not supposed to fight each other. They're supposed to fight Fin Fang fucking Foom. A giant dragon. So, the Guardians do what they can to to fend off the dragon, but it's not doing any good. And everyone's dying. So with the exception of Spider-Woman, daughter of Hawkeye, granddaughter of Spider-Man. No, really. That's the thing. She was in Old Man Logan, the Old Man Logan story. She's also not exactly the best person there. As in, she killed the Kingpin in Fisk Lake. She killed the Kingpin just to become the Kingpin. Anyway, Taskmaster gets a little full of himself and says, "Hey," so calls up Doom and says, "Hey, watch this. Maybe I'll get and think about a promotion for me." And yeah, the Guardians manage to. The Guardians don't kill Fin Fang Foom. No. They do something much worse or better, depending on your point of view. They destroy the mind control device on Fin Fang Foom. And so, Foom and Peter have themselves a talk. Foom saying, do you expect Fin Fang Foom to bow to your will now? For this majestic beast to serve you? And Peter's like, no, I was really hoping you'd eat the people that did this to you instead of devouring us. And Foom's just like, yeah, okay. And he does just that. Meanwhile, Spider-Woman gets up into the skybox of Taskmaster. Two of them have a brief fight, and Taskmaster pulls the whole, hey, I got photographic reflexes. And he gets beaten by Spider-Woman because, well, he did, get old. Photographic reflexes are great when you're, young and spry, but when you were young and spry 55 years ago, and you don't have a healing factor keeping you young, not so much. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong, it's possible, but yeah. You have to keep in mind that with Taskmaster, he doesn't train. He watches. Yeah, he's in shape, but, so as much as anyone else does. Anyway, so Doom has Madame Mask activate the Hunter-Killer Doombot protocol to go after the Guardians. Drax gives Star-Lord the motivational speech he needed. Get over it. There's enough of this whining. Actually, you know what? Here's the whole thing. Enough of this whining. What the hell happened to the guy who punched Thanos in the face? He fell when it mattered the most. I'm sorry. I know what it's like to lose those you love most. I had a wife and daughter. Then Thanos destroyed them. Destroyed that life. So listen to me when I say to you, get over it. We sacrificed so much to get you to this planet, to give you a fighting chance. You do not get to fuck this up like you fucked everything else up. And actually, Rocky would agree that was actually a pretty good pep talk. So they move on, and apparently Rocky has a thing for Ashley Barton and Spider-Woman. And in the stadium, we see that now Taskmaster's in the arena. Well, he doesn't have to fight Fin Fang Foom. He has to fight the Venomized T-Rex from way back in Old Man Logan. I was wondering who the solicitors were saying was the old favorite from Old Wasteland's favorite that was going to show up. I did not expect that. So anyway, in Titania Town, Colorado, some people are talking about what's been going on. Because word of the Guardians' deeds have spread. But then Gladiator arrives, asking about the Spaceman and where to find Fisk Lake City. And so, after getting the information he needed, Gladiator sends Pulsar, as he puts it, we know where Quill was half a day ago. He will not get far. This falls to you as our fastest. Find him and alert us to his position. Go with our God's love in your heart and death on your mind. So, alright, that'll be... It's odd. Old Man Quill is a bit... Well, we'll see where they go. Anyways, moving on to our final book of the week. The Age of Rebellion special. As I mentioned, this was also our movie tie-in video, so, So we got ourselves 3 stories. First off, we've got IG-88 in The Long Game. So it's really just talking about the various stories people tell about IG-88. And apparently, there's a rumor that IG often claims not to claim its bounties, and many of his hits end in fire. So, mainly because it's a great way to pass. He records stuff, and so anyway, so we see him fall victim to a double cross during a prison break. The escaped prisoners blow him apart, take his head, go through it, and it turns out there's a whole ton of unclaimed bounties that they can claim now. So they bring it to a specific syndicate. They're showing it, and well, turns out that they are taking credit for killing the leader of the syndicate's son, which leads to them all getting killed. Then Iggy manages to call forth his ship with his body, and he promptly reattaches his head and kills the rest of the syndicate. And as we were saying, that someday, some distant day, people will realize that all the stories by IG-88 are true. Next up, we've got Yoda in The Trial of Dagobah. So, it's pretty much a day in the life. Yoda wakes from fitful sleeping, and he walks a bit, watches some of the wildlife, makes a bow, kills one of the animals, and as he's climbing back on the way to his home, the rocks slip. He grabs on by 2 of his fingers, very much like when he was fighting the Emperor in the Senate chambers. And he slips. And he's being held down by rocks. He dreams and he falls asleep. While unconscious, he dreams. And he comes awake and he finds himself trapped, buried alive. Eventually, though, he uses the Force to remove it, to get the rocks off of him. Makes his way back through. Gets home, starts making his stew. Then he hears an odd sound and goes to look outside. As an X-wing lands in the swamp. But I use the word land very loosely. As he moves on, he overhears a young pilot saying, "Now all I gotta do is find this Yoda, if it even exists." And of course, it's Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 having set up camp. And so, it's basically what Yoda was up to in the time leading up to Luke's arrival in Empire. Well, his final story is Stolen Valor. So we start off with a rebel raid near Kashyyyk. Jack Porkins, Rogue 6, he was the first pilot to die on the Death Star run in A New Hope. And Biggs Darklighter, Luke's old friend from the Battle of Yavin. Anyways, Porkins takes out a TIE fighter and a piece of wreckage. It's a little hollow of the pilot with his wife and kids. It hits Porkins pretty hard. So after we get back to base, Biggs is suggesting all these things, they should do. Oh, this. And finally, go on vacation. There's this vacation plan with a struggling economy, and the exchange rate works really in our favor. It's like, hey, no orders, no battles, no threat of having our silver body sink down in the vacuum of space. And so they go on vacation. Planet's Earth. And they're hanging out, and we get to day 12. An Imperial officer has shown up. And Biggs is pretty sure that he saw that officer one time, flying against a Star Destroyer. So they go to figure, okay, we'll go and hold her up. She swears she's not an Imperial officer. She was just pretending so she gets a VIP treatment and free perks. She's a single mother of 6 who needs a vacation from her job in a spice mine. And so Biggs is like, okay, you've got 6 kids, what are their names? Rattles them off. She needs a break and be pampered for once. And so Porkins like, okay, you know what? Hey, whatever it is, everyone needs it. Everyone deserves to have some time off. So you know what? Let's hey, you know what? We're sorry. We shouldn't have done this. It was just our hands. We were never in any danger, so they're leaving. However, they get kicked out because, yeah. As they're waiting for their ride home, Porkins admits that the first 11 days are fantastic. And then back at base, the usual chumming around and talking about who people are outside of the Galactic Civil War. And we get elsewhere. We see the Imperial officer, and she is an Imperial officer. In maintenance. Well, engineer. Oh, I guess it would be engineering. She's sent to, as soon as she gets back, unclog toilets. Porkins, the squadron is sent out, and Porkins starts climbing into the cockpit of his X-Wing, but he sees briefly that the TIE pilot that he shot down in the beginning. And he flies out, he says, what will I be when this is over? Sadly, however, Porkins never got to find out. So, one thing I will say about the IGDA, I'm not entirely keen on undoing the whole, because they mention the Legends origin for the character, where he killed everyone but yeah, they cut out the whole. There are 3 additional IGDs. Anyway, that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon description box down below. This is Rock Roll Spock signing off saying live long and rock hard.